Vlad here from Nova Media, helping writers become bestsellers, and today I want to talk about how we scaled a Dark Mafia Romance author from making 60K per month to making over 100K per month and maintain their results. Watch this video till the end and you will learn a proven way to sell books consistently and predictably that works in 2024. Recently I've talked to a few romance authors that are making 5 figures per month, and I think they could be easily making 6 figures per month. And I've noticed the following pattern. Most of them experience some growth and then they kind of spike up to close to 6 figures a month, and then it just dies down and they go back to what they were making before. And it seems that it's pretty difficult for them to scale and maintain the results. I've noticed that they're all doing pretty much the same things. Number one is TikTok organic posts. Now, this can be a highly efficient way to market your books, and I've seen some crazy results. Yet I talked to a few authors, and for them, the results were not so predictable and sustainable since the algorithm seems to be changing quite often. And this can contribute to not being able to maintain the results that you're getting and keep the constant scale that you want to be at. Now, secondly, Amazon ads seem to look great when you look in the Amazon ads dashboard. However, most of the authors that I talked to, including us, we got the feel that even though the numbers look great in the dashboard, it doesn't really feel that it actually bumps up the revenue too much. Now, Facebook ads, on the other hand, can be very stable and scalable as well, especially when done right and for the book that aligns with the market demands. They help you reach more readers consistently, and most importantly, they can bring in more profit and then also maintain the results month over month in a predictable way. And for those of you that write Dark Mafia Romance, it's very interesting because readers are just begging to discover new series that they can binge read on. And I can't say this about any other genre. The demand is just crazy and those readers eat up those books super fast. Now, we managed to have a very positive impact with Facebook ads, and the principles behind them are actually very simple, and I'm going to share them with you right now. We put the most effort into creating ads that convey the type of book you sell while also maintaining low costs. And for this, we do a lot of testing before we launch our main campaigns. The ads will serve as a filter and will only attract readers that are interested in specific tropes that we use in our copy and headlines. So let's start with images. For images, we use AI images with Midjourney, and we try to convey the tropes in the image, right? So if it's Dark Mafia Romance, we usually go with black and white images, or like images of a Russian mob, handsome, tattooed, that also matches the description in the book. The downside of Midjourney is that if you're using images that contain hands of people, then they could actually mess this up. So it can take a lot of time for you to get the right things. But if you're doing a portrait or a more landscape image, that should be fairly easy. ChatGPT is also a great option, and they actually don't get the mistakes as often as Midjourney. However, Midjourney, they do create better images and more appealing images for ads. Now, when it comes to copy, we use two approaches, and both of them work. Sometimes one works better than the other, but we're testing and we're sometimes even running both of them. So number one is copy and headlines that contain viral content from TikTok videos of the author. So if you're already doing TikTok, you had some success, you can use the content from the best videos and then just use them in the ads as well. Now, in this case, sometimes it could be a bit too generic, but you want to make sure that you use content that could communicate that this is, and make it obvious that this is a Dark Mafia Romance. And the second approach is trope fest ads. That's how we call them. And basically what we're doing here is we're just putting the emphasis very heavily on the tropes that we sell. So it could be, arranged marriage, enemies to lover, etc. And we want to make sure that we highlight the tropes that are the most appealing and have the most demand in the market, and then basically attract the readers interested in those tropes. Now, I want to mention that between all of those three, images, copies, and headlines, the images will help you get the cost as low as possible. So you can have the same ad at a higher CPC, but if you get the right image, you can actually drop the cost much lower and then just get more people onto your Amazon ads page for the same spend. Our CPC average is around 13 cents, and we spend around $300 to $400, and we're aiming to make around $500 to $550 back from this spend. And this is a 60K workbook. So if it's gonna be 90K or more, then you would basically be able to make more revenue at the same ranks that we would hold basically. So we're kind of averaging around 200. Now let's talk about targeting. Since our ads are a very good filter, the targeting doesn't have to be very specific. So we're actually not doing those very specific small audiences that are very similar to the types of book we sell, and we can target things that are, you know, more broad, like romance novels or E.L. James, right? Which is very, it's not necessarily exactly what we sell, but it contains a large pool of romance readers basically. Now, we don't do Advantage Plus targeting. This hasn't been proven to work very well. I made another video on Advantage Plus and if it works and if you should do it. You can check it out here, but we don't do it. And then in terms of placements, if you do automatic placements, the spend goes to Facebook newsfeed. If not, just remove all of the placement and just only target Facebook newsfeed. So let's talk about scaling. Scaling always has a ceiling. This is very important and you need to understand this. Sometimes a book will be stuck, you know, the most you can get is to 300 rank or 200 or 100 or 400 or 1000, really depends on the genre. In romance, you should not have a problem maintaining a rank around 200. You can even be in top 100. We all know that. So for us, it seems that we're averaging around 200 rank. That's where we're staying, and that's enough to generate $500 a day to $900 a day, depending on the book. So if it's a shorter book, 500. If it's a much longer book, 900. I've seen authors making this amount at the same ranks that we are. So this is how we align ourselves in terms of our KPIs. We have a goal of spending 300 to 400 and make back 500, 550. Whenever we drop, right? Let's say that we're spending 400, making 500, and then in a week, the revenue drops from 550 to 380, then that's when we go in and we make the adjustments. We actually don't look so much at the variations in costs unless it actually has an impact on the revenue. So whenever a book is not within what we wanted to make, then we go in and make adjustments and change things up in order to bring back the revenue. And usually the adjustments that we make are just changing the creatives, right? Once you understand the audience, it takes a lot of time to burn that audience. And I think the most important here is that you go for sustainable results, right? Meaning you could have a month where you're spending $300 a day and you're making $600 a day, right? And then that drops and you're never able to make that back. You need to understand that that's not necessarily realistic or sustainable for a long period of time. And you need to have goals that would be sustainable, because if you say that ads don't work because they used to work well and now they're no longer working the way you used to want it, or you used to work for you, you will be inclined to shut the ads off, and then book one's just gonna make less money, and then the whole business is gonna start dropping. So you need to understand and accept that you have to go for something that is probably not as amazing as you would like it to be, but it's sustainable. And this is important because I will always pick a business that is oriented to being consistent versus then trying to hit like some crazy month, one month of the year. Because if you average that out in a year, it's just gonna be destroyed by the other business that's just being consistent. So if you're a dark romance author and you're stuck at 5 figures, just know that Facebook ads might be the key for you. Number one, spend most of your time on creating great ads. Number two, keep testing different things until you find what works, then focus on making those ads better. That's how you get to maintain the results. Number three, make sure that your ads are only running on Facebook newsfeed. Number four, set a clear goal, spend a certain amount to earn back a certain amount. Make sure that this is something sustainable. Number five, if you stop earning that certain amount, run new ads that are improvements on the previous ads that worked well. And number six, try to get steady return. Aiming to spend 400, 500 daily can put you in the top 100 to top 150, and your earnings may vary depending on your book's length. I hope this was helpful for you. If so, make sure to drop a like and a comment and subscribe to the channel, because we're going to be putting out more videos every week.